In North America, the original Game Boy has reached its 25th birthday, and that, of course, was on July 31st, 1989. It was from its birth date, or its retail availability. So, the console had many variations, such as its Play It Loud, which had different colors, the Game Boy Pocket, and the Game Boy Light, which is quite sought after and pretty somewhat rare. So, with that beared in mind, it had a great lineup of games that we could all look at and smile because it had a great library. Just a great library. Games that are most successful and the most popular of all time, that of course being the most successful and sold game of all time, is actually Tetris of all games. This, of course, is various across many platforms, so therefore it's outsold Call of Duty and many other games to come, including World of Warcraft, which is a great astonishment, especially for such a simple but easy to pick up and play and very enjoyable game. So, with that bared in mind, I'm going to take a look at my original Game Boy, as you probably will see quite soon here, and I'll be talking about my childhood with it, my excitement, and all that good stuff in between. So I hope you enjoy.
Alright, so this right here was my Game Boy when I was a kid. I was so excited to finally get it. I was like, yes! You know, my family saved their nickels and dimes, and they, my dad and my mom purchased this for me when I was a kid. I was so excited. I was all like, yeah! Just tears, slight tears going down my face. I was overly excited. I was like, yay! So I basically took it out of the box, hyperly excited, started playing a game right away, which the first game I've ever played actually was on the system was Street Fighter 2. So I popped it in, I was just like, yeah! Playing it, my brother's like, can I play that? Just basically trying to, get his hands to try it, of course. So, played the crap out of it. From that point on, and it was good times to be had. And so, hearing that noise right there, that Pacific music, just hearing that, it just sounded like music to my ears. I was just so overly excited. I mean, it wasn't that I got my first computer or anything. It was I got my first console. It was the original Game Boy. So, I'm sitting here listening to that going, just overly excited about that. And I played the crap out of that as such. So, my original games were these three. Now, I did not get a Tetris with this model because of the fact that this was a little bit of a later model, because obviously the colors and everything were a little bit later down the line. But obviously I got this much more recently, which was, this year particularly. So, one of the greatest selling games of all time, of course, was Tetris, period, which was pretty funny. So, it was that, it was these three games I have right here. I played a lot of, the three games I got from my Game Boy. Over the years, I got more games from the Game Boy. It was a great time. Great times to be had. So, with the console slash handheld, I would consider it one of my favorite handhelds of all time, too. Because it was just such great memories. It wasn't necessarily nostalgia, it was just because a lot of the library were quality games. There was some crap ones here and there, but still a good library. Like, no one would disagree with me or anyone else in particular about the Game Boy. They'll say, yeah, there's some good games, but I prefer this. People are those, sort of just to disagree for the sake of disagreement kind of things. So, yeah, the Game Boy itself, I loved the shit out of it. Had some headphones, just lay down in bed, had my lamp turned on at night when I was supposed to be going to sleep. I'd play the shit out of it, trying to... This also came with a power pack, so that way I was actually able to plug it into the wall and play it as I was sitting in my bed. So it was really fun and cool. I also had a lamp, or light, that I think was attached to the side here. It was like a slime lamp or something like that. It was meant for the Game Boy Color, but I somehow figured out how to jerry-rig it to work with that. Don't ask me how. It's supposed to be a little bit smaller, but I think I'd use a converter or something. So I was able to do that, play the crap out of it. I was just overly excited. So, In closing, this video is pretty much going to end because that's all I generally have to say about the thing. It's had a great library. Still has a great library to this date. It's still widely regarded as one of the best-selling handhelds for gaming of all time. It has a great library next to the GBA and the Game Boy Color, and again, it's just a big library it has. So, with nothing else to talk about with the said console/handheld, with to wish it a very happy belated 25th birthday. So with that bared in mind, here comes the next console, if you guys have not watched that other video already, which will be of the Sega Genesis. So take it easy, thank you all for watching.
If you enjoyed today's broadcast, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos and podcasts to come. Also, down below, be sure to follow me on a few of the social media outlets I am a part of. As always, thank you humbly for watching and leaving your feedback.